All right, let's talk about black tank flushes and even your gray tanks as well too. So I probably flush my tanks more than normal. We run a RV rental company, so we rent out our RVs. So every time I get it back, I actually go through this process and I flush the black tank completely, along with both gray tanks. And what I use here is, I just picked this one up. It's the Valterra Flush King, the reverse flush valve. So the way that I set them up here is this entire section here, all of this, you're actually going to receive with the valve. And then I just buy on Amazon a water meter, a digital water meter. That way, what I'm able to do is I'm able to control how much water I put into the tanks. My tanks, my black tank's a 39-gallon tank. I have two 37-gallon gray tanks. So I'm able to, I put, 30, 33 gallons of water into each one. And what this actually does is, especially in the black tank, as opposed to running your tank flush on the unit in the rig, this will actually, it pushes the water back up the pipes. And in my opinion, that's a lot better. It builds the pressure from underneath. The drain for those tanks are at the bottom, so it's actually pushing all that stuff up, and you'll be surprised. You'll actually flush your tanks with your tank flush on your rig, and it'll come out clean. And then you'll run it using this, and you'll flush it, and you'll have toilet paper, and you'll actually have additional debris coming out. So it does a much better job. So with your gray tanks, you're not able to flush your gray tanks. This here, all you're going to do is shut your valves to the other tanks, and the water has nowhere to go other than the one tank that the gate valve is open to. So if you want to flush your black tank doing this, you're going to shut both your if you have one, you're going to shut one. If you have two, you're going to shut both your gray tank valves, gate valves. And then you're just simply going to flush the water through. I added an additional fitting here, just another shut off for a hose onto there. Brass, little bit more reliable in my opinion than the plastic one that comes with that. So I just leave that open, and then I control the flow of the water with that right there. So again, super simple, gives it the ability to really clean out your tanks. Like I said, I do this every time that I get an RV back from a customer. That way I know there's nothing going on in there, nothing's clogged. I know the gray tanks are going to be clean. They're not going to start stinking, because your galley sink is going to really, that tank, I mean, if you've got food going down there or whatever, which you really shouldn't have, but with giving it to somebody else, I don't know what's going on, so we just flush it completely. So let's jump outside, and I'll show you guys the process on how I flush it, and we'll take a look at it, and see exactly what comes out. I'm actually getting the RV back from a customer today. They were supposed to have dumped the tank, so we'll see if they did that. If they did, we'll still flush it out, make sure everything's clean and good to go for the next person that's taking it back out in the next couple days. All right, so here now we're flushing. You can see I've put 10 gallons of water in. What I actually had to do was I actually had to take this gate valve that I put on off, and it was squirting water out from here. So we'll look at that. I might have to put new gate valves. I like having those on there for sure, but we'll fill this up, fill the black tank up to 30 gallons, and then we'll shut it off. We'll dump it. It was already dumped, but I'm almost positive we'll have some stuff coming out. So let's see what we got when we dump this again. All right, so we're at 26 gallons. We'll take it up to 30, and then we'll shut off the water. And again, I just got this valve here to shut it off, so make it easy. And then we'll see what we got coming out of it. All right, that's 29 gallons. All right, let's do it again. So that's the third time. You can see the we're almost running clear. So brand new unit, but you can still see there's stuff coming out. So I mean, it's definitely flushing it out a lot better than what you would get just from using your tank flush. Now, one thing I mentioned that I keep this open. I noticed it was dripping, or so I went ahead and shut that as well too, so it wouldn't back up. But yeah, you can definitely see there's still stuff in there. So flushing your tank this way definitely does the trick. All right, so that black tank looks good. I'm gonna switch over to do the gray tanks now. All right, let's take a look at the galley tank, gray water. So you'll see how important it is to flush that as well too, because you're gonna get food down there. As hard as you try, you're still gonna get stuff. So it's gonna be growing mold and that. So you can see the chunks of food and anything else that went down the kitchen sink in there. So we'll flush that a couple times and get that nice and clean.